What is up, you guys? My name is Roman, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. And today I'm going to be reacting to Season 4 Leads to Rebirth, animated movie, and more Jurassic World Chaos Theory by Swerve. Now, I've watched Swerve before in my free time, and Swerve is a pretty awesome YouTuber who talks about all things Jurassic Park. So make sure you go subscribe to Swerve. That link will be in the description. And let's get started.
No, that title is not a mistake. There's a possibility that an animated movie following the stories of Jurassic World Chaos Theory and Camp Cretaceous could be a reality someday. And it may follow the events of Jurassic World Rebirth as well.
Wow, that sounds awesome. I'm down for that.
Hello everyone, my name is Swerve and I cover everything to do with the Jurassic franchise here on YouTube. If you're looking for your number one source of Jurassic news and content, then look no further as you found the best place to be. Today, we're going over a brand new article that released that featured the showrunner Scott Creamer having a discussion about where the characters of Chaos Theory and Camp Cretaceous go after the events of Season 4. That's releasing in just 2 weeks from now. This video is going to have some juicy, and I do mean juicy, information about this story arc. I'm so excited to get into it. But make sure you're subscribed to show your excitement for the show, and be sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoy it at any given moment. But for now, are you guys ready? Well, if you are,
I'm ready.
let's delve deep into the latest major news that dropped for this franchise.
Alright, let's go.
In an article by Paste Magazine, they got the privilege of talking to the many showrunners and directors about upcoming Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks, and many more productions. And Jurassic World Chaos Theory was in the midst of all of that. Opening the Jurassic World segment, they glaze over the success of the two shows and the delight of which is Chaos Theory's darker tone, set for a slightly more mature audience than Camp Cretaceous. It's undeniable that these two shows have been vital to the Jurassic IP, and also by keeping it going for the past 5 years. But with Season 4 bringing it to an end in just 2 weeks' time, Paste Magazine also wanted to learn about any glimpses or possibilities of a future for these campers. So, they first jumped into the backstory of how Chaos Theory came to be, and this is what Scott Creamer had to say. When I first started coming up with the idea, I saw it as a very small, like 16 to 20 episodes, Creamer shares. Luckily, because people liked Camp Cretaceous, they came back and said, how about 39 episodes? And what he says here also adds a little more real life story going into Chaos Theory, as back in 2022 I had the privilege and opportunity to interview Scott Creamer ahead of the release of Season 5 of Camp Cretaceous, and this is what he had to say about returning for another show after Camp Cretaceous, aka Chaos Theory.
Talking of the future, I've got a little bit of a big question here. If you were given the opportunity to create another Jurassic series, either animated or live action, would you be happy to jump on it and have another go? And what type of era of Jurassic would you like to revisit?
Well, if you'd have asked me that a year ago, I'd probably say I need a break. But you get a little distance, and I fall in love with these characters, and in the whole new world of Dominion where dinosaurs are amongst us, who's more equipped or more traumatized than our campers.
Yeah.
So,
But now, continuing on with the article, Scott Creamer gave us a small insight as to what to expect for Season 4 of Jurassic World Chaos Theory, and dubs it as more of a survival story than a mystery, which is what the rest of the season was like, implying that it will have the same vibe as Camp Cretaceous' Survival. I always knew the
Oh, that makes sense.
conspiracy theory of Season 1, and I liked the idea of a bookending by having Season 4 be a survival story, much like the first season of Camp Cretaceous. Then in the middle 2 seasons, I knew we were going to end up in Malta, but everything else after that we figured out as we were going along. So this shows that this story was ever evolving the more that it went on. And that's nice to see, as I believe they've learned from their mistakes of Camp Cretaceous. It's clear that the way that it was settled and laid out, Camp Cretaceous should have really ended on Season 3, because what came after it in Season 4 and 5 was so wacky and out of touch with Jurassic that it led to it being
Thank you. Yes, I agree. I totally agree with that.
some of the worst reviewed media of the whole entire franchise. And that's because it was most likely added late into the production due to the original success of the first 2 seasons, maybe even the first 3. And more evidence points towards that as Season 4 begun the broken release cycle for that show, releasing a lot later than the other 3 seasons. So it seems like Chaos Theory is slightly following the same path, but instead of ruining it, they will give us fantastic pieces of Jurassic action. At least they have done so far with Season 3, and I'm expecting Season 4 to do the exact same. These stories
Yeah, hopefully. I'm really hoping.
are ever growing and adapting to the universes that they are set in. And they also take a lot of time to make, as Creamer goes on to explain. No one got a day off because we ended Season 3 with all of the dinosaurs running through Malta, which was also a huge ask. And this season definitely, as our seasons tend to do, picks up momentum as it goes. But after this is where things get much more exciting about the future of these characters and where the show goes from here. And yes, a movie is on the cards, and even a story that leads into Jurassic World Rebirth.
Awesome.
After expressing his thanks and gratitude to be working on a show like this and helping people find an emotional attachment to these characters and dealing with the aftermath of lockdowns, Creamer goes on to talk about what he would like for the future of these characters. So the article continues. With the success of Jurassic World Rebirth this year, it certainly begs the question of whether the Nublar 6 could have more adventures in that untold space between Dominion and Rebirth. I wish the decision was mine, Creamer admits. Seeing the direction Rebirth goes, I'd be lying if I didn't say, well, everyone else got the trilogy. I have an idea, but I think the biggest thing is, we did 90 episodes with the same characters, and that's how it was presented to me. Just the fact that we got to do so much, we got to do 90 episodes, we got to do a time jump, and so much more that was just unheard of, or at least very rare. But do I have a story that leads us into Rebirth? Yes, I do. Well, ladies and gents, need I say more? Actually, yes, I do, just to manage some expectations here. He does say that he wishes the decision was his, so do keep that in mind that none of this is concrete until Universal, Amblin, or possibly even DreamWorks approach him and his crew to return for another. The situation was exactly the same for Chaos Theory, so bear that in mind. However,
Well, hopefully it'll come true. I mean, it might. We didn't know if Chaos Theory was for sure happening, and it did happen, so anything's possible. However,
let's get optimistic here and imagine if that were to be the case. Scott Creamer confirms that he does have a story that leads us into Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, almost anything. But, judging by how Camp Cretaceous ended, I think we have a bright idea. Camp Cretaceous ended in a way that led us into Fallen Kingdom, but also indirectly into Dominion. What I think happened here was that if they were going to do a follow-up on Camp Cretaceous at the time of production, they initially wanted something around the Fallen Kingdom era. But as time went on and they finally got to see Dominion, they felt as though a story centered around Dominion was a better opportunity for them, so they proceeded with that instead. Now, that's not confirmed, that's just my theory based off what we saw and heard via my other interviews with the showrunner and in the actual show itself. So, what if they were going to be doing something similar to that situation? What if, at the end of Season 4, when they all finally arrive back home in the United States and no longer in Europe, they turn on the TV as background ambience, while maybe Darius is cooking his meals in his mobile home, or possibly even back home with his mother and brother. And then you hear on the TV discuss the dinosaurs starting to die out. Meanwhile, everyone else is just doing their own thing in the house. You see them pass
I'm honestly positive that might be the ending of Chaos Theory. I'm positive. I'm 50% chance.
by the camera, but the camera stays focused on the news article on the TV, and then bam, black screen. The show ends there. That could be how it leads us into a story for Rebirth. Nothing that will say, hey look, we guarantee we will come back. But also nothing that leaves us slightly empty at the end with nowhere to go. An open book ending that's well balanced for all kinds of audiences and futures. That's what I believe Creamer meant about a story that leads us into Rebirth. Now, I've spoken to this man a fair few times already, and he sparks me as a creative genius by the way he comes up with these stories. So I would be surprised if he doesn't have a fully fleshed out story in his head surrounding the events of Rebirth that only he knows. So let's hope that Universal want him to continue and they accept his ideas. And one of those ideas,
Fingers crossed.
may even be a movie. Let's go back to the article one final time.
Wait. Hold on. I gotta read this title. Jurassic World: The Edge of Chaos, an animated movie. I see that's like the concept, maybe?
Final time. Asked if an animated feature could be a more reasonable idea, Creamer offers, I don't think that they want our films competing with their films. But again, I've got a cool story. I think it works. I think it helps lead us in, but it doesn't sound like it's going to happen. But you never know. So with what he says here, he is a little less optimistic about the possibility of an animated movie. But an animated movie following up on the Rebirth events and Chaos Theory is something that he has on his mind nonetheless. And it's something that I have actually been advocating for at least the last year or so now. And he is absolutely right. A trilogy is much deserved for the animated sector of Jurassic. These shows have been splendid, and I fully believe an animated Jurassic movie that is canon to the main timeline really deserves to happen. After all, other big franchises have already done that, so why not Jurassic? He does make a good point, however, claiming that maybe they don't want their movies competing with the live-action movies, but as a fan who genuinely loves this franchise and has studied it head to toe, I sincerely believe that the live-action movies really need this competition from the animated side. Whether you liked it or hated it, Jurassic World Rebirth is a success on paper. It made a lot of money, but its story and very strange decisions in the movie really let it down. So much so that even myself, me, yes, me, feels so stressed to the fact that it's canon. It really disappoints me. It feels like it wasn't handled with care or knowledge about the franchise, like it was just something that can easily be sold and made for profit, which it did. I just know that if an animated movie, with the love and care that the 2 seasons of Camp Cretaceous and
I personally liked Rebirth. I didn't think it was bad at all. Well, I got a few. It's not perfect, but it's fine. If you watch my tier list ranking video, I said that Rebirth was fine. It's just that I just was pretty bummed that there was no big battle at the end. Like they didn't show they underused the Spinosauruses. That's like my only complaint about the movie. You have like 5 Spinosauruses and you barely ever use them.
Chaos Theory had on it, if it were to compete with the live action films, it may encourage Universal to take the live action movies a little more seriously and with a bit more respect, unlike what we got in Rebirth. So, I for one strongly stand by an animated movie following on from Rebirth and Chaos Theory. This needs to happen for the franchise.
Yes.
But if that ever happens, then a trilogy of shows is deserved at the very least. But that's just my opinion. I'm interested to know what you guys think, so head on down to the comments and let me know. Would you prefer Chaos Theory's story to end here at Season 4, or would you like another animated show later on, or maybe even an animated movie? Let your thoughts be known. Be sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here, but most importantly, make sure you're all staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. This was a great video, Swerve, and Swerve, if you're watching, this was a great video, great information, And personally, I think I actually, as cool as an animated movie sounds, I actually think it would be better if it would be live action. Like I would actually love the next time we see the campers in any in a future if it's in like a future film, I would actually love to see. I'm actually more interested in seeing them in live action. That would catch my interest a lot. So I that's what I think would should happen. But anyways, I ranked this video uh because it was very informational. I give it a 9 9.2 out of 10. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you make sure you go subscribe to Swerve, and if you're new, subscribe to me, and be sure to like this video, and comment down below what you thought about this. Until next time, cheers, bye bye.